Welcome to the session of Merck. The topic is about how we work with startups. I will also give you an overview about our innovation hub at Merck in China. My name is Poon, and I'm happy to give you the introduction in the next 20 to 30 minutes. So for those who don't know us, we are Merck. We are the oldest pharmaceutical and chemical company in the world, more than 352 years old to date, with 57,000 employees worldwide, present in 66 countries, with a revenue of about 16.2 billion euro, out of which we spend 2.3 billion into R&D. Based on this figure, you can already sense how R&D intensive our portfolio is and how important science and technology is for us. So our main business sectors are in healthcare, life science, and performance materials. In healthcare, we focus on prescription drugs and diagnostics, focus on oncology, human oncology, neurology, immunology, fertility, general medicine, and endocrinology. In life science, we are focusing on laboratory tools and equipments to enable research, and with our Sigma Audit platform are also strengthening our leading position in e-commerce. In performance materials, we are focusing on high-tech chemicals, for example in liquid crystals, OLED materials for displays or lighting, effect pigments for coatings and cosmetic products, or other specialty chemicals for the semiconductor industry. So science is at the heart of everything we do, from advancing genome editing technologies and discovering unique ways to treat the most challenging diseases to enabling the intelligence of devices. Merck is everywhere. So with our global innovation ecosystem, we're trying to source projects complementing our business sectors in R&D, but also driving cross and beyond sector innovation. So areas where we are not strong at, but with our existing expertise, could have an interesting business opportunity in future. Our approach starts from the setting of defined innovation fields, which gives them some sort of direction under which we could run our internal innovation campaigns together with our employees to foster ideation, concepting, and the project maturation eventually. But we also look into the outside. What kind of interesting opportunities are there, for example, in the startup world, academia world, or even other corporates to build a win-win partnership? The picture is complemented with our investment arm, corporate investment arm, who does strategic equity investment. And this approach we successfully launched and brought to China in 2018 to be agile, fast, and jointly explore exciting scientific areas, to leverage our global organization and join forces with the local ecosystem in order to finally accelerate and converge innovative ideas into new business opportunities. With our two hubs in Shanghai and in Guangdong, we're trying to be an integrated part of the China innovation ecosystem. As our CEO says, these new hubs will accelerate our innovation development nationwide. Together with local partners, we aim to jointly advance innovation in China for China and beyond. The overall setup of the China Innovation Hub is consisting of different activities, such as scouting and foresight to explore our innovation fields, ideation and incubation to support, to initiate ideas through maturing ideas through to a concept, to a final project which can lead to a new business opportunity for Merck. Then a partnership team which are engaging with key stakeholders such as in academia, governments, or other corporates. Then a dedicated investment fund only focusing on Chinese early stage startups or research groups. Then we have a dedicated space to strengthen our physical presence in Shanghai as well as in Guangdong to foster the ecosystem engagement and really dedicate a space to let ideas grow. This is an overview of our key partners. So you can see a general structure: government, academia, incubators, accelerators, investors, or other corporates, which we formed as strategic partnerships in the past. I will not go through all the details here. So we are looking for the next big thing, and dare to innovate is our image. To give you an example, what does it mean? I was mentioning the innovation fields earlier. It means that we drive innovation beyond with global and local impact. And for that, we defined certain innovation fields relevant for the global market or only dedicated to China, such as clean meat, liquid biopsy technologies, AI-enabled health solutions, bioelectronics, organoids, neuromorphic systems, or other trending topics which are not mentioned here but where it's worth to explore. AI-enabled health solutions is focusing on China for China, and organoids is focusing from China for global. This is a glimpse on how our innovation hub looks like in Shanghai, and some impression from our second innovation hub in Guangzhou. So you can see it's a modern design and implemented with our Merck branding. So how do we work with startups? So in general, to start off with, and later on I will give you some examples, there are generally some collaboration models with external startups. We can build startups from scratch through partnering with interesting research groups, for example, which will lead to complementing existing internal projects where we have some sort of joint development agreements, where it's also about shared IP and assets. Then we can partner, which could lead to a vendor, licensing, supplier, customer relationship, distribution partner, or just simply test new solutions. And then, of course, this is more classically the invest piece, which is more about strategic equity investment. In the later pages, I will show you some concrete examples. So this is resulting from our partnership with Zhangjiang. They built up an area called the Zhangjiang AI Island, dedicated for all sort of AI projects. And here we are partnering up to host external AI startups that fit into our innovation field exploration in the so-called AI lab, in order to support them with resources and foster the interaction with the other stakeholders in this particular environment around artificial intelligence. Another example is coming actually from our hackathon, which we initially planned to have it in person, but then switched to an online format due to the COVID-19 outbreak. However, it was very successful. We run the hackathon together with our partner Microsoft for Startups. We call it M2 Startup Challenge, where we sourced real challenges from a business unit, gave it to a bunch of startups to propose a solution which later on would have the chance to be implemented. One of the solution and winners actually is in the field of drug adherence through digital health. So the challenge was, how can we enhance drug adherence through utilizing digital solution in order to engage and interact with patients specifically for a therapy where Merck have a 1-year gap posology. So this solution is coming from a startup called YouHealthBot, which we are now currently in implementation phase. Another program which is successfully running in the past years, originally starting from global, now we have our China dedicated Merck Accelerator program. The general objective here is to explore new markets, technologies, and business models, complement, adopt, or diversify Merck portfolio with new solutions, or just simply scout investment opportunities. And during this 3-month program, we offer access to Merck resources and intensive exploration of partnership opportunities, funding up to 50,000 euro, which usually is dedicated to finance this pilot project together with Merck, a tailored curriculum from Merck experts or coaches, co-working space in one of our innovation hub, and of course the engagement with the ecosystem. The next program actually will start soon, and we just closed our application phase. But stay tuned for the next round if you're interested in. One example specifically for the Korean startups which went through our program is called InHand Plus. So InHand Plus is developing or working on an ambient AI-based medication smartwatch for clinical trials. And as mentioned before, this is a huge problem in the industry to maintain drug adherence. And with their solution, we're trying to improve the drug adherence with the usage of that AI smartwatch. We try to find out what are the barriers and challenges for patients to use these type of devices, and by the end, how accurate and how reliable are these outcomes as well. So during the 3 months, we try to explore the scope of the pilot, try to identify an internal expert who partners with the startup to conduct this pilot. And now they successfully are working on this pilot. Another example is Hallmask. Hallmask is a startup from Singapore. The startup is developing essentially a diabetes management tool which could help the patients to change their lifestyle, to track their lifestyle, and really try to monitor, to handle potential patients at risk or patients who already have diabetes to manage their life. So together with this startup, we're trying to find opportunities, the so-called beyond the pill. So what can we offer to our patients beyond our drug therapy, what we usually have? But for that, we still need to find out how is the market acceptance for these type of digital solutions. And together with Hallmask, we're working on a pilot to test out how the acceptance is and what kind of channels do we need to address in order to foster the usage of this app. Is this app by the end efficient enough? Do the patients use it once they start it? And are they willing to pay for it later on? So these are the questions we try to find out with Hallmask. To give you some impressions of the last accelerator round, so we had 18 weeks, 5 modules, consisting of different contents during the curriculum. One major part is, of course, the proof of concept development with our Merck experts, but we also support the startups with general topics which could help them to strengthen their business, such as legal and IP protection. They had the chance to pitch to our Ventures group, coaching and storytelling, how to really engage and use a good story to convince relevant stakeholders for their business. But also tax, cybersecurity, or topics like mental health, which came up especially during this crisis. So we had overall more than 200 hours of exploration with more than 150 Merck experts from global and China who were involved in the program. On top of that, ecosystem visibility through startup events, through media exposure, helped the team to position themselves and promote their startup. In total now, we have 74 startup alumni since 2015, together with the global program. And in the last round, we generated 4 out of 6 follow-up projects. The follow-up projects, some of them I mentioned before. So one was this drug adherence topic, but the other projects were in the field of synthetic biology, liquid biopsy, or AI-enabled project design. This is the overview of the startups who we supported globally from more than 20 countries for both programs. And here you can see it's a quite good split between the healthcare sectors. So we do have startups dedicated for healthcare, performance materials, life science, or the new business areas. Or startups who are somewhere between, which you see in the last one. Lastly, we, as mentioned before, we invest in startups. early stage startup with our dedicated China seed fund. We have 100 million RMB for early stage startup, where each investment ranged between 4 million to 8 million RMB. This could help us to position and strengthen our ambition as active and critical player in the China innovation ecosystem. One example of our first investment, which we closed recently actually, is in the field of neuromorphic chips for low power on-edge artificial intelligence applications. This startup is developing modern AI chips which help us to implement this spiky neural network to achieve ultra low power and low latency for AI edge computing. This could help us to explore the field of neuromorphic chips and potentially see how our performance materials business could complement this exciting new field. Are you interested to learn more? I'm happy to share our QR codes for those who use WeChat. Please scan this code. This is our official WeChat account where we regularly spread our news and share activities around the Innovation Hub and where you potentially could also engage with us in future. So we are Curious Mind, dedicated to human progress. And our global network of scientists, experts, and thought leaders is driven by the passion to explore and to prospect of making a meaningful difference in the world. We dare as we care. Stay curious, dare to innovate. Thank you for your attention.